Hello, Oakwood artist. It is Wednesday, August 26, 2020. Welcome back to Sketching Together. It is our 86th day of making art together. 86 days. We're close to 6 months. That's a long time. Time has flown by this past week. I hope you are out there making art. I'm hearing from more and more of you, and I hear that you're making art, and I'm even getting to see some of your imagery. So it's been really fascinating. I'm so happy to know that many of you are participating in the Active Art Challenge that's coming due next Friday, September 4th. And tomorrow I will read the words again, share some of those words, but you know what? Go off script with those words. Whatever words come to your mind and to your heart when you think your memories, when you think of being active in life. Some great words I heard this week were exuberance. I heard meditative, meditating. So many words: energetic, fun, enlivening, brilliant, spectacular, motivating, life-changing, life-altering. So many words. Healthy eating, living healthy, all kinds of different things that mean so many things to us. So whatever it means to you to live healthy in your body, your mind, and your soul. So I don't want you just to think about exercise. Think about, what does it mean to be healthy? What does it mean to be a human taking care of themselves? And especially in this really difficult time of COVID, what is it like to be active and take care of yourself when everyone is telling you stay inside? How do you stay active? How do you keep your mind healthy? How do you keep your heart healthy and active? And how do you just keep your spirit alive? Because that's really important in these, dark, troubling times. Okay, so today's art. We are still focusing on photography, and Jane Henneberry is our inspiration this week. She has her show in the Oakwood Art Gallery, and she has taken photographs throughout her life from throughout Wisconsin, throughout the United States, throughout the world. She's been fortunate to travel to some countries around the world and outer lying United States, like Alaska. How fortunate is she? And I think she's been there a number of times. I can't remember the number, but I wish I could have been there as many times, or just once. I'd like to go to Alaska just once if I could. And I realize as I'm saying that right now, I had an Alaska picture I was supposed to get done for today. But I tell you, once I get home at night and take care of things that have to be done after working all day, I don't have a lot of energy left. And so I'm hoping to change that, because fall tends to rejuvenate me. There's another word, rejuvenation. Fall tends to rejuvenate me, and I hope to get a little bit healthier so that I can do the things I want to do and have more energy for the things I want to do. I was saying to my girls yesterday or today that life is what you make it, and we have to make it really good and really joyful for ourselves. Fill it with the things we love. There's no time to be angry. There's no time to waste. And you know that. You know that. So we just need to get doing the things that we love. And if I'm tired and dragging at the end of the day, how am I supposed to do the things I love? I can come to work and do the things I love, but I can't do those extra things outside of here that I love to do. So I need to find a way to get more active, healthy, in body, mind, and spirit, because those things work together. We're a whole person here. So very important. So tomorrow I'll bring back some more of those words. Please join that challenge. So many people are. It's really amazing to see how many people really are out there making art. Okay, so working from Jane Henneberry's photos, she has some photos of cityscapes. Now we've made buildings, we've made skies, we've made other things. Another thing I noticed about Jane's artwork, there are lots of clouds in her work. So today's work is about creating a cityscape. There's one image, if you tuned in yesterday, you saw me give a tour of Jane's photography, most of Jane's photography out there. And one was the arch over St. Louis at night with the cityscape. So we are going to look at creating a cityscape. I'm going to do it in pastel because I need to get a dark night, and I'm going to just do a quick drawing because that's what is working best for me these days. Quick drawings. Otherwise, I find without that energy and without that time, I am not able to sustain, there's another word, sustainability, sustain and get these images done, and they're piling up, and that is not where I want to be with my art projects here, piled up, not ever getting them done. So I like the idea of working quick and getting something accomplished, or at least feeling accomplished. So while I don't have Jane's artwork here in the room with me, a photograph here in the room, because the hall is very busy out there today, I do have Vincent van Gogh's cafe scene. And the reason I brought it up today is it shows a cityscape, shows a street scene, but I also wanted to show the sky. So when I think about a cityscape at night, I think about the skyline, I think about the stars in the sky. What kind of lights am I going to see? Am I going to see a bright lit up city? Am I going to see a darkened city? Is this a country village? Is this a time that Vincent van Gogh would have lived in, when there would have been street lights that were lit by lantern? Or is this a modern city with lots happening and lights everywhere? What kind of cityscape am I going to make? Now, Jane's perspective from her St. Louis photo shows a side view of the St. Louis Arch, and then goes on for miles and miles and gives us that atmospheric perspective at night. So I am going to do a cityscape. Now, while this is not in Jane's caliber of art making, there's a little children's book called Harold and the Purple Crayon. And I love Harold and the Purple Crayon, and sometimes I even use it with adults. The reason I love Harold and the Purple Crayon is that in his book, he writes the story as he goes, and he's drawing and scribbling, and sometimes he might trip and make a scribble. He meets a crocodile. He gets himself into some precarious situations, and he draws a city and with lots of windows, and he's trying to find his way back home to his own very window. So when I think of cityscapes, I cannot not think of Harold and the Purple Crayon. Now, when I think of Jane's photography, I don't think of Harold and the Purple Crayon, but if I think of a cityscape, then I'm automatically going to think of Harold. So I'm going to draw a cityscape. I'd like you to think about how have you viewed cities before in the nighttime? What have they looked like? So often in movies, we might see a California scene where there is a cliff. You've got a car sitting up here. I'm going to draw a convertible, because there's always like a convertible sitting on top of this cliff overlooking Los Angeles. And it's like a little boxcar derby convertible there. And out here, of course, is the city. The bright lights of LA all are out here. And of course, this is the most romantic place to be, right? This is where you'd want to take your date for a view of the city. Well, I'm not sure that that's the cityscape I want to create, so I'm going to go over it, and I'm just going to do that. But I am going to create some skyscrapers, I think, and I'm going to put some lights in it and see what I come up with. So thinking about cityscapes, I'm going to create a skyline. And again, I'm just working really simply, making some buildings. Now you might be thinking, wow, why did she just scribble over that and now she's making this? Well, we can do that, right? We can go right over our art. Vincent van Gogh did it in the Mona Lisa. We can go right over top of our art, and nobody has to know the difference, except for you today, because you're watching me work. So I'm just making a very, very quick sketch here. We talked about Vincent van Gogh a few weeks ago in the Mona Lisa. We talked about atmospheric perspective. I'm sure that Ansel Adams in his photography We talked about him on this Monday. He also used atmospheric perspective, but he was catching that with photography. So that's where in the back of your picture, in the foreground, I'm sorry, not the foreground. The foreground is the front. The background, you see the image becoming hazier and hazier as it gets further away from you, and sometimes even bluer. So I'm going to just play around with color. I am making a scene at night, but I'm going to think about color being differently. So like, instead of little specks of light in the sky, I'm thinking about, boy, when you visit a city, there's light everywhere. You look out and there's just lights everywhere. And it sometimes can be very, very noisy or very, very silent. But all along the city, back through here, we know there are buildings, but I'm just going to put little flecks of light. Now, maybe you've been somewhere where there's some a really great scene of the night sky in a cityscape. So maybe you've been to Paris and you've seen the Eiffel Tower at night. That would be a great cityscape to create. Maybe there are other places from around the world where you have traveled, and this one is just definitely out of my imagination, and it's making me think of Harold because he draws these skyscrapers. In Jane's St. Louis art, I see blue and red lights throughout the city. So there's my city. It's becoming darkened, cartoon-like, I guess, in some respect. But it has those specks of light. So cityscapes with light. What would yours be like? Is it a real place? Is it an imagined place? So I hope the biggest thing you'll take away from all of this time we've spent together, if you've been watching the series along the way, and you've made it to our 86th day here today, I hope that what you'll take away is that we all can do art. It's not for the elite. It's not for those who are technically trained. We all have the power and ability to make art. We forget that. Boy, we're born creative. We were meant to be creative and to be very creative. And then it becomes an elite thing. I'm not an artist, but my friend is an artist, and my friend has had art shows and on and on. But really, art is about every creative human being out there. So if you're human, you can make art. And so I hope that that's what you'll take with you, that you don't have to have great supplies. You don't have to have a wide, vast imagination at first. That comes later. Getting started is all you need to do. The courage to get started. So first you need courage, right? And that can be hard to find. But then just get started. And what you'll find is sometimes you'll succeed. Sometimes you'll be like, ah, that's kind of a fail. And hopefully in the end, what you become is more connected to the work that you make, the art that you make, the imagery that you make, and more confident in who you are overall.